How dramatically do you believe life for the working class people in Salford has changed since the 30s?
Poverty is relative, so we don't have back-to-back slums anymore, but we have people living in accommodation now that's substandard. One of the big things I get in my constituency office are people that are living in rented accommodation that's damp, and we've got a different kind of poverty. We've got people that can't afford to feed their children. We've got people that are having to go to loan sharks just to make ends meet, and they're in work. And not much has changed, to be frank. We've just changed, in terms of our technological advancements.
What do you think were the biggest political and social impacts of the Battle of Bexley Square in Salford?
I think it had a massive impact on the Labour movement itself, because it showed that we had the strength to mobilise, and I think that played a massive part in the Labour government of the 1940s that brought in the welfare state.
How do you believe we should recall the legacy of the Battle of Bexley Square in Salford and beyond?
I think it's important to keep telling the story and then relating it to what's happening today. We're still having the same issues, cuts to teachers' pay, the unemployed are being completely disrespected. I think, within the Labour movement, obviously we all know what it is because it's part of our history. If you don't know about it and you're from Salford, then you kind of be ostracised from the Labour movement because it's kind of a rite of passage to make sure that you know about it. I think beyond that, I think we need to do a bit of a job of work, especially in schools and places like that, to make sure that the younger generation know about it, for the reason that I said before, that a lot of the rights that they just take for granted came out of these people putting their necks on the line and putting their livelihoods and their lives and families at risk, and they need to know that, and they need to know that they can have the strength to do that as well, to demand more from their lives and more from the government. It's kind of one of those mythological events, for want of a better word, where working class people were fighting for their rights, basically, and obviously as I became more interested in politics, it became even more important because I saw that what was happening then, many years ago, is still happening now. Benefit sanctions is a major issue in Salford, where people who've paid into the welfare system and worked hard all their lives and have fallen on hard times and have gone to that safety net that they thought was going to be there, have had the rug pulled from under them. And worryingly, I think it was only yesterday we was discussing with the Mayor of Salford about a health report that was published last year about the fact that there are diseases now that are becoming prevalent in Salford that were around in the Victorian times, and this is all happening in one of the world's wealthiest countries. And I think that it's events like Bexley Square that are directly linked to that. It's that same kind of passion for social change and justice, and we need to capitalise on that and remind people that we had to fight, blood, sweat and tears to get even the most basic rights that we've got now, and it was the people that fought in places like Bexley Square that got that, and we can't let governments turn that clock back. We've got to fight tooth and nail like they did and put our necks on the line and make sure that we demand those basic rights and more.